Hi, guys. I'm a 33-year-old man in desperate need of some advice. I'm really struggling and very annoyed with something that has been happening in my life. So, I got married to my ex-wife, Jessie, 30, female, when I was 25. We had 2 good years before everything fell apart. Back then, I was working at a construction company and earning a decent salary. My ex-wife was working as a waitress, and together I would say we had a decent life. Then I got into a major car crash that changed my life. I was badly injured and ended up in a month-long coma. There was like a 10% chance of my survival, but by some divine intervention or miracle, I came out of it alive. It was a horrible crash and it changed my life completely. I was basically immobile for the next 3 months and had to get extensive physical therapy to get back to a normal life. I never actually recovered completely and became legally disabled. That entire year I suffered like hell. And to make matters worse, my then wife decided to leave me. Jessie told me the bad news as soon as I woke up. I was getting agitated that she wasn't visiting me and couldn't understand why my wife didn't come to see me for days after I woke up. When she finally came to see me, she told me that she wanted a divorce. There was some major drama and crying on my end because I didn't know what I did wrong. Jessie then nonchalantly told me that she doesn't want to be tied to a disabled person and had started to move on long before I got out of the coma. Long story short, she was seeing her gym trainer. For the record, she joined this gym 3 months before my accident and has a huge crush on her trainer. I knew this because she gushed about him a lot. It did raise red flags, but I trusted her too much and thought it was just an innocent crush. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Jessie told me that she had developed a real connection with the guy and wanted to explore that instead of being stuck with me. I cried and begged her to stay. I was in love and stupid enough to beg her. I told her that I can look past her mistake and together we can overcome this. She just shook her head and told me that it wasn't worth fighting for, and she deserved better than a disabled man who would probably be dependent on her. I still remember how cold and detached she was that day. It was horrible for me, I won't lie, but I cried a lot for a few days. I was in a very vulnerable state, and Jessie was my only family. All of it hit me hard. I knew that I would probably lose my job at the construction company, and I didn't know what the future looked like for me. I went home to an empty house. Jessie left, went to stay with her friends. I had to ask a colleague to drive me home from the hospital. It was my colleagues and my ex-in-laws who took care of me after I came back from the hospital. I also had to fight legal battles to get the driver at fault to pay compensation. Meanwhile, I had to hire a divorce lawyer to end my marriage. It's a good thing that eventually I began resenting my wife because it made me want to get the divorce as soon as possible. It was done in 6 months since none of us wanted to fight anymore. She got half my savings, but did sign away whatever compensation I was to get from the accident lawsuit. I think she thought that not much would be left after medical bills. Good for me because I ended up getting a good settlement. My bills were paid off, including physical therapy. I got paid for missed work and emotional damages, among other things. Overall, it was a good settlement. My company ended up giving me a temporary desk job as a sign of goodwill. I was already having trouble with everything, so as soon as I was able to move about on my own, I left the city. I just wanted to get away from it all. I settled in another city in another state and somehow managed to get a job at a store for handling payments and bills. I'm pretty sure my old manager at the construction company put in a word because He was the one who told me to apply here. I will forever be grateful to everyone who helped me. You will probably judge me, but I pretty much cut contact with everyone in my old city. It was just too painful for me. I only kept in touch with a few people. Eventually, I moved on, went back to college, and learned coding. I won't detail how I had to literally work my butt off to get a degree and a good job. Salary's good, and I'm even more successful than before. I moved to the new city when I was 28, and now I'm 33. I actually had a quiet, peaceful life here until a few days ago. Jessie suddenly started to message me on my social media accounts. She wanted to reconnect and kept talking about how she still loved me and regretted everything that happened. She was trying to butter me up. But that made me more annoyed than before. I told her that I wasn't interested in talking to her and that I had moved on. Jessie didn't stop at that. She sent me loads of messages telling me that her boyfriend, who she had left me for, had turned abusive, and she had no one to lean on or talk to. Basically, her crush didn't work out. Her relationship was abusive. As much as I felt about the abuse, I still told her that I can't help her and she should stop messaging me. I blocked her accounts, but she somehow got hold of my cell number and started spamming me with messages and crying voicemails. She even got her friends to spam me. No matter what I do or say, I can't get rid of her. I tried blocking phone numbers, but new ones would pop up. I was confused and very annoyed, so I decided to contact someone and find out what was going on. There was one friend of Jessie's who I kept in touch with after moving away. Actually, I did stop contact, but we reconnected after I saw her at a colleague's wedding. Small world, right? So, this friend of my ex-wife's told me that Jessie was actually thinking about hiring a private detective to find my address. Jessie didn't know that this friend was actually in contact with me. She told her friend group that she was going to find me and somehow convince me to take her back. The friend, let's call her Kayla, 32, female, actually told me that Jessie was being extremely delusional, and their other friends were feeding into her delusions. Jessie thinks that she can sweet talk and seduce her way back into my life again. Oh God, just writing this down makes me want to puke. I can't believe she still thinks she's irresistible or something. I'm not a simp, so I was definitely not going to fall for it. But the very fact that she thinks I will fall for her useless charms again makes me extremely offended. Anyway, now I'm sort of in a dilemma about what to do. I'm also scared of her showing up and causing a scene. No matter what, I don't want her to know where I live. I have a good life here, and her showing up would ruin the peace. I've been keeping myself away from drama all these years, and Jessie is threatening that. Also, I don't know what I should do about all the calls and messages. I plan to ignore Jessie and her friends, but I don't know what to do about her parents. Her parents have been wanting to talk to me over a video call. They are good people, and I would say I had a great connection with them. Not going to lie, but they always felt like family to me. I think they were my biggest loss in the divorce. Then again, it was my fault because I was the one who distanced myself from them. They wanted to stay in touch and wanted us to talk, but I was too heartbroken. I didn't want any of my past to follow me to my new life. So I kept my distance and told them that I couldn't stay in touch. They were sad but accepted my decision. Now they're asking to talk, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm really torn about a lot of things right now and don't know who else to talk to. I was hoping to get some perspective or advice from you guys. What should I do? Should I talk to my ex-in-laws? Should I talk to Jessie once again and try to make her understand that I really don't want to be with her? Edit. You guys seem to think that I'm lying about making it big. When I say I made it big, I mean to say I landed a great job with a good income. I had a dream of studying software engineering, but that dream crushed itself to dust in high school. To be blunt, my mother went to jail when I was 16, and I basically spent my time in group homes because no one was available to foster a 16-year-old. I won't say that I had horrible experiences when I was in group homes. It was actually decent and probably better than being stuck with an abusive foster family. But I faced some really difficult situations that I won't go into detail about. My mother was a criminal right until she died in prison. She had people she owed money to, people who didn't hesitate to threaten me and come after me. Most of the money I had went to those idiots who would show up and demand my mom's debts. I don't have family, and I didn't really have anyone who was willing to give two craps about me. I was spiraling mentally, and being a stupid teenager, I refused help. I made some really bad decisions, nothing illegal, and barely passed high school. By the time I finished high school, I knew that my chances of getting a scholarship were next to nothing. There was also the fact that I was an adult and needed to find a suitable job to support myself. Trade school was my best option. I started working in construction at 19 through some contacts from the group home. It was tough, but I liked being on my own. Sometimes group homes can be a bit much. Plus, I felt guilty eating away resources that could help someone in a worse situation. Anyway, I stayed at the construction company and slowly climbed up. I met my ex-wife when I was 22 and in a decent position. She was no better than me anyway. She was a waitress with no high school degree. She had two loving parents, but they weren't all that rich. I did encourage her to go back to school and complete her degree while I supported her, but she was never interested in it. I did want to go to college, but leaving my job wasn't an option. Jessie wouldn't have been able to support the two of us on her waitress salary. I could have taken a part-time job, but everything just wasn't worth the hassle. So I put my dreams on the back burner and just let things be. I am, in a way, glad that the accident happened. It showed me what a horrible woman my wife was, gave me the opportunity to finally chase my dreams. I guess that's why it makes me so mad that Jessie would think she can enjoy the fruits of my labor. She never tried to better herself and only wanted a cash cow who would take care of her. I was young and stupid, so I had thought that she would understand where I was coming from. But no, she was nothing like me. But no, she was nothing like me, and I paid for it later in life. I will say that I don't have regrets about leaving her. The only reason I'm here is because I want her friends to get off my back, that's all. There's also the fact that her parents are asking me to talk. No matter how horrible her ex-wife was, her parents were nice people. They were against her divorce. No matter how horrible my ex-wife was, her parents were nice people. They were against her divorcing me and had begged her not to leave me. They wanted to stay in touch, but it was me who shut them out because it was too painful for me. I don't know how to tell them that I don't want their cheating and scheming daughter back. Update 1. Hello guys. I came here to give you an update on a few developments that took place. First of all, thank you for giving me some awesome feedback that really made me put things into perspective. I don't know a lot of people. I don't feel comfortable sharing these things with the few friends I made here. So, having your insights and advice has been really helpful. But I would like to say that I am disappointed that one person thought the post was fake. I guess your life is all roses and rainbows, but trust me, strange things happen to people every day. I don't know how to convince you that this isn't a soap opera, but real life for me. I'm not desperate enough to make up stories to get attention on the internet. If you feel I'm lying, please move on and ignore me. As for everyone who genuinely wanted to help me, thank you so much, guys. I did some thinking and took time to make up my mind. You may or may not be disappointed to know that I did end up talking to Jessie's parents. I usually don't explain myself to people, but I feel like you guys deserve it. I already told you that I am an orphan and actually don't have any family. Jesse's parents, Jason, 55, male, and Zoe, 53, female, have been really nice to me throughout the time I knew them. They didn't care that I was an orphan with very few prospects. They welcomed me with open arms and never showed any judgment. If anything, they seemed proud of me and what I had accomplished back then. Jason always told me that he was really impressed by how I fought my way to stability. I never faced any kind of prejudice from them. Zoe treated me better than my own mother did. When the divorce happened, I was scared that they would be forced to choose between me and Jessie. I was sure that they would choose Jessie over me because she is their literal child. Yes, they were unhappy with Jessie, but they would have come around eventually. I didn't want to be that guy they couldn't get rid of because they felt sorry for me. Maybe it was my own insecurities that made me push them away. That was definitely not the right decision on my part. I video called them yesterday and realized that I had definitely misjudged them. They really did want me in their lives. They didn't want to talk to me to convince me to give Jessie another chance. In fact, they wanted to warn me not to give Jessie the time of my day. I got to know about a few things from them that I couldn't have known anywhere else. Even Kayla didn't know so much, but that's probably because she doesn't keep in touch with Jessie and that friend group as much. Kayla actually doesn't stay in the same city anymore. She was home visiting her parents when Jessie asked for a girls' meeting. Kayla thought that they were just getting together like old times. She didn't think that my ex-wife was going to turn it into a pity party for herself. It was pure luck that Kayla was in that city and in the meeting where Jessie exposed her plans to have me located. Anyway, Jessie told me that her boyfriend was abusive and whatnot. Turns out that's not true at all. Jason and Zoe told me that the gym trainer was actually a decent guy. He apparently had no idea that Jessie had left me to be with him. They started dating only after Jessie and I got separated. The guy was oblivious about a lot of things. Jessie quickly won him over and moved in with him a year later. But then Jessie would constantly complain about him. The guy has good money since he actually owns the gym, so Jessie thought that he would splurge on her and spoil her. The guy was not interested in a trophy wife and made it clear that he won't give her whatever she wanted. While he didn't take rent from her, he did make her split all other bills. Jessie would often complain about how he is a cheapskate and won't pamper her even when he has the money. Then recently she brought up marriage and he said something that pissed her off. The guy wanted a prenup to protect his business. I don't know about you guys, but I think he was being super smart. Jessie hadn't put any time, effort, or money into the business, so he's well within his rights to ask to protect it. Jessie, of course, didn't like it one bit. They've been fighting about it ever since, and during this time, one of her friends somehow stumbled upon my profile on LinkedIn and realized that I had turned my life around. You already know what happened next. Jason and Zoe actually find out about this by accident. She let it slip that she was trying to reconnect with him and maybe win me back. I don't know why she thought telling her parents this was a good idea. I guess she thought that they would support her since they liked me so much. That's what her parents said anyway. They had been fighting with her too over this. They told her to leave me alone because she clearly didn't deserve me. Jessie accused them of turning their backs on their own child. Jason and Zoe then decided to try and find me so that they could warn me about Jessie's plans. I was a little shocked to hear all this. First of all, I really didn't think that Jessie's parents would actually talk to me to warn me about their daughter. I was also very shocked by the fact that Jessie was trying to play her new boyfriend just like she played me. She was calling the guy names and thinking badly of him, but God, he didn't deserve it. From what I can tell, he was possibly unaware that my wife had left me. If she was crazy enough to lie to me about him abusing her, who knows what stories she fed him? There's still a chance that the guy isn't 100% innocent, but at this point, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. My mind is completely blown by what I have discovered. I thank Jason and Zoe for telling me everything. We had a long emotional talk after this, and I ended up confessing why I pulled away from them and that I still miss them. We have now decided to talk again and rebuild our relationship. I have stopped seeing them as Jesse's parents and now see them as my friends. We will be communicating on the phone for now, and maybe someday we may even meet in person if we get the chance. All in all, I think it was a good call to talk to them. I feel absolutely no more guilt for not talking to Jessie. I'm going to stand firm on my decision not to communicate with her again. Whatever little pity I had for her being abused is now up in the air. I'm just going to keep ignoring her messages until she gets tired and stops. I'm hoping that she won't be able to find me, but if she does, I will probably go to the cops for harassment. Although I do hope that she isn't serious about the detective thing, because it will be a problem if she finds me. That's the update, guys. Pray for me so that I can have my peace back as soon as possible. Update 2. I prayed to get my peace, but God didn't like it one bit. Sorry, but I'm extremely frustrated right now. I meant what I said in the previous update. I was really hoping that Jessie would eventually get the hint and stop. I was also hoping that hiring a detective was just wishful thinking on her part. I was wrong on both counts. This crazy woman actually did hire a detective and found me. I really can't believe it myself. I don't even know how she managed to find the money for a detective. I don't particularly care about that either. It's just bizarre that she would go this far to have me back. I'm not delusional enough to think that she wants me back because she's still in love with me. If she ever truly loved me, she wouldn't have left me when I was at my worst. I knew from the very beginning that what she's doing is all because of my success and money. She's already proved herself to be a gold digger, so I don't know why she even tried to sell this as love. She showed up at my door and looked oh so happy to see me. Meanwhile, I was scrambling to shut the door on her. I literally shut her out and told her to leave. Through the door, I could hear her crying and pleading with me. She told me that she loves me so much that she couldn't wait to see me. She actually admitted to hiring detectives to find me. She also said that it was just fate that brought us back together, and we shouldn't let this chance go to waste. I cringed hard when I heard that. You would think she was drunk or something, but no, she was stone cold sober. She was trying hard to convince me. At one point, she even said that we don't have to be serious. We could just relive our old days and have something physical. That one almost made me puke. Kayla wasn't kidding when she said that Jessie was planning to seduce her way into my life. This woman actually tried to do that. Just plain gross and disgusting, if you ask me. Let's just remember that while she was professing her love and asking for a physical thing, I was constantly telling her to leave or I would call the cops. She was there for about 15 minutes before I decided to just call the cops and let them help. She was showing no signs of letting go and was babbling nonsense. I called the cops, and they were there in another 5 minutes. This woman then had the brilliant idea of lying to the cops and telling them that she was my girlfriend who lived with me. I had thrown her out over a minor disagreement. At that point, I was shocked beyond belief. I quickly opened the door and told the cops that she was lying. I had enough proof of it. Jessie tried to hug and kiss me right in front of the officers, but I somehow pushed her off me. At that point, the officers said that she would be arrested for sexual harassment if she didn't stop. When asked if she could prove that she lived with me, she had nothing to say. Meanwhile, I offered to show the cops the messages on my phone and videos from the hallway cameras after I got access to them. Jessie looked shocked when I said this, so she probably hadn't noticed that there are cameras around. Anyway, she couldn't really give a clear answer to show that she was telling the truth, so the officers asked her to leave or they would have to arrest her. Jessie tried to make up some more excuses before finally leaving when the cops wouldn't hear her nonsense. I was super anxious and downright scared that she wouldn't leave and get me in trouble. Even now that she's gone, I feel anxious that she will show up again and cause problems. I'm going out of my mind thinking about what to do. I'm not going to lie, but I have been thinking about changing apartments just to escape her. But she might just hire an investigator again and get me located. I can't believe this is happening to me. So much for trying to move on and live my life in peace. I don't know what will happen now. I have informed Kayla and Jess's parents about what happened. It's not like they can do anything about this, but it feels good to let someone know. I don't want to share these things with my colleagues, and I don't really have many friends around. Also, frankly, this is very embarrassing for me. I don't want to delve into my past that much and dredge up bad memories. And I'm lucky to have some friends and colleagues who don't pry or push me to tell them everything about my life. At least someone respects my privacy. Anyway, Jessie's texting and calling me again from yet another phone number, but this time I'm letting her. I won't block her because I am collecting proof in case she escalates or something. I want to be prepared to take her to court for harassment if I have to. Again, I would rather not have to do it, but if she doesn't back down, I might just have to. Also, I would like to get some advice from you guys about something. I'm contemplating contacting Jess's boyfriend and telling him what she's up to. I'm a little scared that it will just escalate the situation, but I feel like I should tell him. I'm very confused about this part. If you guys can give me some opinion on this, I would be grateful. Update 3. Hello everyone. I'm so sorry for disappearing on you guys after the last update. I know many of you were worried about me, so I thought that I should come and make a final update here. I will try to be as concise as possible because I don't want to bore you. So, last time I told you guys, Jessie came to my apartment and created a scene until I called the cops. I was panicking and didn't know how to get rid of Jessie. I debated reaching out to her then boyfriend, but wasn't sure. The problem basically solved itself because my ex-in-laws decided to tell the guy what Jessie was doing. Long story short, the guy broke up with her and kicked her out of his home. He later found out that Jessie faked documents and took out 4 different credit cards in his name and maxed them out. It was a hell lot of money. It also explained how she was able to afford a private investigator. Jessie did have issues with money and had maxed out my credit card more than once without telling me. Thank God she didn't do to me what she did to him. Yes, I checked and made sure. Anyway, the guy pressed charges and got her arrested. She got out on bail, decided to attack him at his gym for ruining her life. She is in jail now. I'm sure she'll be out soon, but I have enough proof to show that she is unhinged and get a restraining order against her if she shows up here again. I'm already planning to buy a small apartment soon, so I will be moving away anyway. So, that's the update. I'm glad that she stopped all contact after this stint and left me alone. I hope she doesn't spring up again, and if she does, I will be here to ask for advice on what to do. Stay tuned for more stories from Our Girl Relationships.